Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the weekly angel reading. I'm Rachel Scoltock, and I've got a whole heap of cards here for you today to do the reading for the week ahead. And I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about how to overcome any blocks that you have when it comes to manifesting. Maybe you're feeling stuck, drained, fatigued, maybe blocked in some life area. So I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about that and how to work with the angels in order to open your energy to start to receive. So hi everyone, hi Marcel and Cheryl and Christy and Kath. Lovely to see you, Melissa. Lovely to see you here. So one of the things I want to talk about today is one of the most basic things about connecting with the light. And that is that changing your thoughts. Changing the way that you speak to yourself, changing the way that you think, getting rid of those habitual thoughts that are making you upset or making you angry or making you feel bad about yourself, really changing your thoughts. And the reason I wanted to talk about that today is because we're coming up to, this week is the 1-year anniversary of the dear Louise Hay leaving the planet. And she transitioned this time last year. It's really hard to believe that, one, that she's gone, and two, that it's been a year already. And she left such an impact on me and on the planet. I mean, millions and millions of people have got stories about how Louise Hay changed their lives through her books, her teachings, through her tapes. I remember I used to have a cassette tape that I'd listen to over and over again, a meditation tape by Louise Hay. And I have owned You Can Heal Your Life in one form or another, the book, probably since I was about 15 years old. That was one of the first spiritually healing books that I ever read, and it changed my life completely back then. And it inspired me to do what I do today. I'm a healer, I'm an author, I'm a teacher. And it's my desire to make the world a better place, to transform people's lives, to teach people how to heal themselves and how to connect in with their spirit and to love themselves. So I can 100% say that Louise Hay was my inspiration. And when I wrote my first book, Loving Your Sensitive Self, hey Karen, Emily, when I wrote my first book, Loving Your Sensitive Self, one of my intentions was to write it in the way to help my readers feel the same way that I felt when I read You Can Heal Your Life, because Louise Hay writes in such a way that you feel like you're sitting in a room talking with a good friend, and that really inspired me. So, hey Linda, lovely to see you, Belinda and Bern and Kath. Yes, one of the first books I read. So you're the same as me. You're inspired by Louise Hay too. So I really wanted to pay tribute to her and all of the work that she did, and to remind you that, you know, I think a lot of people dismiss affirmations nowadays because we've heard so much about them, because it's really energy healing, body healing, mind healing 101. It feels like maybe we've surpassed it, you know, that we're going on to different things. But I don't think it ever gets old, and I don't think it is a beginner's thing. I think it's something that we return to again and again. I know that I certainly do, and when I'm going through a challenge, even today I had a little bit of a sore back, and when I was walking through the national park nearby, I was saying affirmations to clear the pain in my back and help myself feel better. So I think that even the greatest spiritual teachers use affirmations, mantras, repetitive positive statements about how you want to feel, what you want to happen, what you desire in your life. It interacts with the universal energies. It changes your biology, and it changes your energy. When you change your energy, you change your life. It's as simple as that. And so I don't believe that it is junior, primary school stuff. I think, I know that Louise Hay was using her affirmations all the way up until it was her time to go. And I think it's something that we all need reminding of. So I'm going to pull you a card from the Louise Hay Heart Thoughts deck this morning, as well as a couple of angel cards for you as well, to give you some insight to the week ahead. and what it is that you need to know and how you can heal yourself. So I'm reading that Ben also has the Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life by Your Nightstand. It is definitely, it's a go-to, isn't it, Ben? And I've just finished reading one that I've never read by Louise Hay before, called Empowering Women, and I can thoroughly recommend it. It was a really powerful read and very relevant, even though it would have been written 20 years ago at least. Very, very relevant for right here and now, and things that are going on in our lives and in the planet right now. She was a psychic, I think. I'm getting goosebumps right now. I feel like she's nudging me. She was a psychic to write what she wrote then, because it's very, very fitting for everything, governments, what's happening in the world and what's happening to women right now. So I thoroughly recommend that you look that one up. So let's go ahead and pull a card for you, an affirmation card, directly from heaven, from Louise Hay for you today. And we'll ask that you get the best affirmation that you can possibly get. Okay. So this is, oh, this is beautiful. So this is the Heart Thoughts cards. And the message, the affirmation is, I treat myself with unconditional love. So take a deep breath and close your eyes and absorb that. I treat myself with unconditional love. And the message is, I'm a precious being loved by the universe. As I increase the love I have for myself, so too does the universe. Isn't that so true? That's definitely something that I am working on every single day, to increase the love I have for myself and to treat myself with unconditional love. And that's something that I teach my clients too. And, you know, to have that as an affirmation is a reminder, but it also, you know, can you feel it in your cells when you say that to yourself? Do you feel calmer? Do you feel more peaceful? How does your body respond when you say, I treat myself with unconditional love? And does it bring up things for you where you might say, well, actually, you know, I ate burnt toast today and that wasn't really unconditional love, or maybe I'm going to treat myself a little bit better. So, you know, that is a beautiful message, and I would suggest, I challenge you to write that down and have it somewhere close to you all day today, and just keep repeating it to yourself and see what comes up. Hey Denise, hi Juanita. So are you ready to have some more messages from the angels this week? Let's see what the angels have to say. I'm going to, I'll put this photo up on Instagram and Facebook later of the unconditional love card. So I've also got, you know, all of my cards pretty much come from Hay House, which is Louise Hay's publishing company. And, you know, what a legacy this woman has left, that all of these spiritual teachers, healers, you know, personal development people that come to us directly into our homes because of what she did all those years ago. So I'm using Carl Gray's Angels and Ancestors deck this morning. So I'm going to pull a couple of cards from that and see if the angels ask me to pull another card. Now, before I pull cards, you might notice behind me there's a couple of candles that I've lit. I always invoke the angels, and I do this before every session I do on Zoom or Skype with my clients. I do this before every reading. I do this before anything that involves teaching, spiritual teaching and healing, because it's really important to invoke the angels to everything that you do, because one, it stops your ego getting involved. If you ever had a reading or done yourself a reading even where your ego has been involved, you either get the answer you think you should get, or you get irritated and you want the cards to go back in, or it just doesn't resonate with you. Somebody tells you something and it just doesn't feel right. So, you know, that's an ego reading, and it's very easy to do that, especially if you're a beginner, because it takes time, effort and energy to connect with the higher realm. So you have to invoke the angels first and ask the angels to help you with every reading that you do for yourself, so that you know that those messages are coming from spirit, from divine love, not from you, not from your ego or your fears or your manipulations. You know, how many times do we want to pull a card that says, yes, this is the thing you're meant to do, and it might not be. So I ask for and invite the presence of the Holy Spirit into this room. And I ask for and invite the presence of Archangel Michael and his band of mercy angels. And I ask for and invite the presence of Archangel Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel. Angels, please surround me in this reading and everybody who's watching. And thank you so much for working through me and with me and making me a pure and clear channel of your divine energy and your information. Thank you for bringing through the message that we most want to need to hear this week. And so it is. Amen. So I've already done that, but I love to do it in front of people because it teaches you how to do it for yourself. And it makes you feel peaceful. So I'm being told to pull 3 cards from this deck. So you're going to love these cards. So the first card is always, when I do a reading, I always pick the first card is giving me what the theme, the present situation, what you most need to know at this moment. And this is the Stag. And look at the words of trust and thrive. These are the Angels and Ancestors deck by Kyle Gray, published by Hay House. So I'm looking at the swirls, I'm looking at the beautiful stag, the power that's coming from that image. And this message is saying that in order for you to create what it is that you want to create in your life, you need to start doing it from a place of stability, foundation, power, and trust. So there might have been a feeling recently, and it may have been with the transitions that we've been going through, that you've been feeling scattered, you're dashing from one thing to the next thing. And it's creating an unsettled energy around you. It might not be you doing it, it might be people around you doing that. But the angels really want you to create something solid and beautiful for yourself. So they want you to choose a path, trust in that path, and at the same time as unconditionally loving yourself, making sure that you're walking that path. It's like a solid foundation, rather than skipping from one thing to the other or spreading your energies too thin. So this is definitely a card of power, and the stag, I'm being told right now, is a really powerful symbol for you to remind you of the power that's within you. And the power that's within you isn't just your strength or how much energy you have or how much stamina you have. Those are great things, but it's also the connection to the divine. You're never alone, and that sounds so trite in some ways, but it's a truth, is that if you try to do everything by yourself, you'll weaken yourself. But if you call on the energies of the divine, of the angels, and your own soul, you are drawing in the greatest power in the universe, and you can't fail. You can't fall apart. You can't fade away, because you're not walking against anything. You're working with the flow. You're working with the universe, with the divine. The second card, it seems to be very much talking about life purpose, about finding your gifts, maybe doing, making a change on your path that helps you to feel more nurtured, fulfilled, and energized, and also to be of service, so that you are bringing the energy of service into the world. So this card is the shapeshifter. Look at the amazing animals. The eagle there, more symbols of power and spirituality. So this card says transform and unveil your gifts. So being a shapeshifter means that being able to adapt, being able to see yourself in certain ways. So let's say you've been seeing yourself as powerless. You've been seeing yourself as not good enough, or as somebody that's, you know, failed, or anything at all that isn't seeing yourself in the highest good. And you know yourself that when you feel that way, you actually do start to shift. That energy shifts, and you start to feel less than, and your body can be affected, your finances can be affected, your relationships are affected. So in the opposite, if you start to see yourself as strong, you start to see yourself as divinely guided, develop a sense of the universe has my back, the universe is with me, you start to see yourself as having what it is that you want, as living the truth of what it is. It's not enough to just wish for money, or wish for a house, or wish for a car, or whatever material items are fine. It's part of being a physical being, right? But if you're just wishing for those things, but you're not expecting yourself to transform and create a path with and for that, then it's an empty wish, and you're only fulfilling your ego. You're never going to fulfill your true self. So see it as a way of bettering yourself, as strengthening yourself. So about bringing your gifts to the world. Whether if you want to be an artist or an author or a singer or a healer, whatever those things are, you need to then transform yourself. So the first step would be to start to tell yourself the things that you are, those things, affirmations. Start to speak that, start to see that, start to feel it. So in which case you transform your energy from, oh, I'm weak, I'm not good enough, I will never do this, I don't believe in myself, weak and not feeling good, to a completely different energy. So you're shifting yourself, because you know that your thoughts create your experience. They just do. They've been proven scientifically. What you think will weaken or strengthen your body and your energy and interact with the quantum field. The final card for you is the Protection Guardian. Now, I love this card with all my heart today for you. I feel like this is something that so many of you out there need to see. This is, you know, how many times do spiritual teachers, and myself included, I've written a whole book about how to protect your energy, but it tends to create, if you're not careful, this feeling of wanting to shut off from the world. And in this card, the angel is saying, yes, you can protect your energy, but you don't have to cover up your heart. You don't have to be defended all the time. You don't have to be expecting attack, being in fight or flight. Oh my God, what's going to happen next? Are these people going to judge me? Are they going to tell me I look ugly? Are they going to say they don't like my speech or my clothes? You know, these are the things that stop people from really living their truth. Can you imagine if Louise Hay had been worried about her hair, or had been worried about what people thought of her, or any of your spiritual teachers that you know about, Oprah? You know, and all of us have insecurities, myself included. But if we let those insecurities create a wall around us, the world never gets to feel our gifts. They never get to experience our teachings. The divine never gets to work through you to come in its own unique, expressive way to the world. So this is a beautiful reading this week about really connecting in with who you are and connecting in with the divine at the same time, and also shifting your life. And look how quickly it will happen when you really start to transform those thoughts. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And oops, it's already asking me to finish my video. I really love doing these live, so let me know what you think, if you enjoy them too. And I love your comments. Let me know what you think of the reading today. And I'm sending you angel blessings. And remember to call on those angels aloud to help you with whatever you need. Remember to say your affirmations, to tell yourself how loved you are, how blessed you are, how the universe has your back, and how everything is working out for your highest good. And I send blessings to you, angel blessings, and angel blessings to Louise Hay there in heaven, and see you all through the week. I'll do some more lives this week. See you.